From being feared criminals to losing their lives, here are 13 Hells Angels members who were instantly killed behind bars. William Hulko. Canadian biker William Wild Bill Hulko served as the president of the Hells Angels Kingston chapter in Ontario and was known for his ruthless nature. In 2002, he was arrested on sexual assault charges, a minor offense compared to his list of crimes. However, while awaiting his trial, Hulko was found dead in his cell. John Donnelly. The Hells Angels London chapter was the turf of John "Johnny Boy" Donnelly up till he was brutally murdered. From assault to extortion to murder, Donnelly has been involved in multiple criminal activities and faced the consequences when he was sentenced. He was killed under suspicious circumstances while serving his sentence in 1991. James Nolan. Known for his involvement in the criminal activities of the Hells Angels, James "Big Jim" Nolan played a huge role in distributing large quantities of methamphetamine and cocaine in the northeastern United States until his arrest. Nolan met his end while serving out his sentence following a violent attack from inmates during a power struggle. David Eugene. David Eugene was a notorious member of the Outlaws, the infamous motorcycle club known for its criminal activities, which Eugene deeply contributed to. His criminal career took a turn when law enforcement caught up to him. However, rather than surrender, Eugene decided to engage in his final killing spree, taking out himself and others. Mark Guardado. Former president of the San Francisco chapter of the Hells Angels Club, Mark "Papa" Guardado was deeply feared amongst members of the club. However, this didn't stop Guardado's life from being brutally ended by those who supposedly feared him in 2008. The chapter leader was shot outside a bar due to an ongoing feud. Robert Huggins. Robert Huggins, a former member of the Portland, Oregon chapter of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, committed a grave offense against his chapter that was punishable by death. Under the chapter president's orders, Huggins was subjected to hours of torture before he was stabbed and left to die on a remote property. Rusty Coons. Rusty Coons, a renowned player within the Hells Angels inner circle, met his end when he became entangled in legal issues. His reputation suffered a great blow after he was indicted on drug trafficking and weapons possession charges. While serving multiple sentences, Coons has allegedly encountered numerous threats to his life behind bars. James Kaufman. From a renowned doctor to a convicted criminal, Dr. James Kaufman broke his oath by working with the Hells Angels on a drug operation. The doctor's fall from grace ended with his lifelong incarceration in prison. However, Kaufman wasn't the one affected by his action. His wife's life was brutally ended once he was incarcerated. Raymond Folks. Former leader of the Sonoma County chapter of the Hells Angels gang, Raymond Ray Folks was found guilty of racketeering conspiracy and conspiracy to murder. Ray was a major player in the drug trade ring until he was sold out. Folks was sentenced to 60 years in prison and his empire collapsed in turn. Christy Julian. Christy Julian became involved in gang activities after marrying a high-ranking member of the Hells Angels. However, her role as an unseen player ended abruptly and she was indicted. Christy decided to blow the whistle on the gang to lessen her sentence. This didn't end well as nothing about her has surfaced since her imprisonment. George Waggers. Chocolate. George Wiegers was the international president of the Bandidos MC and a prominent and powerful man in the criminal gang underworld. From drug trafficking to conspiracy to murder, Wiegers' criminal record built up to 2010 when he was arrested. His deeds finally caught up with him despite having a strong influence on law enforcement. Sonny Barger. Ralph Hubert "Sonny" Barger helped establish the Oakland, California chapter of Hells Angels, one of the most notorious gangs in America. However, Barger's problems began when he got entangled in allegations of drug conspiracy and even murder. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison and died after he was diagnosed with liver cancer. Michael O'Farrell. Michael O'Farrell's criminal lifestyle under the guise of a Hells Angel Club member caught up with him in 1989 when he was convicted of multiple crimes, including the murder of a rival club member. He was sentenced to Fulham State Prison and continued his criminal activities. However, O'Farrell's life ended in prison following a hit.